When people think of PR, there's probably a lot of things that they think about, but I don't hear enough people as far as small businesses talk about press releases and managing the stories locally so that they can seem more like a human and they can kind of get involved in the community in ways that if they did more of it, they would have a little more room to be able to work and build themselves up. So break down press releases for me. I know that's something that you focus on. I know that's something that you help a lot of businesses with. There's power in that, and I just don't think enough people think about it. So I would love if you can kind of cover some of that as well.
So, press release one, don't use it too often, right?
Mm,
A lot of times businesses be like, I need to make a press release for this. I just did this. You're sounding like the boy that cried wolf, right? People don't, right? If you're in the public eye too much, right, and
mm,
your press releases are supposed to be about stuff that you're launching, about some type of impact that you're making, something that's new, like, it has to be impactful. It has to actually be a story. So if you're making a press release, make sure there's an actual story, there's a good angle behind it. And
mm.
next, to follow up, make sure you know the journalists that you want to pitch these to,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Journal, especially as a small business, right? Let's take TV out, right? Let's take all the major marketing channels. Let's take social media out, right? Even though it's accessible, let's take social media out. Before all of this, before the TV, so YouTube, streaming,
Mhm.
social media, how do we spread the word? We talk to a journalist. We
Yeah.
talk to somebody we knew. We talk to somebody on the radio, right? All these prime people that we know in our community, right? And say, yo, I got this going on. Let's say I got a pizza spot. I'm about to launch a pizza spot, right?
Mhm.
We only serving pepperoni pizza, nothing else. Only pepperoni pizza. And we're doing it this time, right? And we're doing it here and we're doing it this and this is how we're doing it. That's the press release. I just put the whole
Mm.
story in a thing and now I'm talking to you as a journalist. I'm building this relationship because you might like pizza. Or you might
Yeah.
know somebody that likes pizza. Your audience might like pizza. Or we haven't had a pizza spot in the city for a while, right?
Mhm.
We gotta go to out of town to get pizza. We gotta go 3 blocks away, right? These are the stories, these are the angles that you can kind of pitch and kind of develop that relationship. Now they're getting to know you and your business. Now is more relationship driven rather than, yo, I got a press release. You should talk about this.
Mhm.
All right, we talked about it. Now, a couple weeks later, I got another press release. What's this one about? Same thing. I just changed the words on this one. A couple months go by, I got another press release. Damn, buddy, you doing a lot of stuff, right?
Right.
You're like, what impact is this making in the community, right?
A lot of the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, because as a journalist, as a media personality, my main thing is for the community, right? So if you're a business, right, I only care about what you're doing for the community. I don't care about what's in it for you. I don't care. It's nice for you, right? It's
Mhm.
good for you. How does this affect your audience? How does it affect my audience? How does it affect anything that's going on in the community? And those are just some of the questions that you need to ask yourself before you even get into the press release and start writing it, before you start talking to journalists, before you even think about PR and events, whatever it is.
There's a lot in what you said that I want people to be able to hear. The community aspect is definitely something that when people think about PR and they like, well, I'm gonna put something out. It has to be something in it for the people that are listening or reading. It has to be something in it for the reporter, the journalist, whoever it is. You have to understand the advantage for them in order to truly be able to have that conversation. If I was equating it to music, like don't stand out in front of a record label with a demo tape or whatever the CD or whatever it is. Like they have no reason to listen. They have no reason to want to hear what you're saying. You have to frame it in a way that makes it worthwhile to them to say, well, here's what's in it for you. Here's how this is going to be a good story. Here's why this is something that would be advantageous for you to be able to look at. One of the other things that I know that we talked about is the level of timing when it comes to it, because I know you'll run into some people that are like a week out and say, oh, I need a press release. And that's not really how that works. So, can we talk about the timing as well? Because it's framing it, but then it's also understanding the timing in order to make sure that it works in both ways. Like you can have something really great, but if the timing's off, it's not really going to get you the results that you're looking for.
So, first thing I want to talk about is a press release is not the only thing that you need to be doing
Mm,
when you do have an event or you do have a launch. If you're just doing a press release and you're calling me for a press release or you're talking to another PR agency for just a press release, they don't have enough information. They don't have enough time. They don't have enough. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it in order to make it successful the way that you
mm,
want. Right. So don't just, if you're a small business, just don't think that you're gonna, hey, I got this event coming out tomorrow. I need a press release. Uh, excuse me? Right? Because we
mhm.
have to talk to the journalists. We have to submit it to journalists. We have to actually frame the story, right? Sometimes the story that you think people want to hear is not the story they want to hear, right?
Yes.
And that doesn't matter to the journalists. So now when you're talking about putting together a whole campaign, which it should be, right? A press release should be a part of a larger campaign,
Mhm.
have to talk about timing, right? At least a couple months out because we need to understand the story of why you're doing this as well, right? People don't just care about what you're doing, they care about why you're doing it. And the why starts a while before you even do it. So now we need to do an interview with you. Now we need to talk to your team. Now we need
Right.
to get these journalists on board to say, yo, this is why you need to talk to them. This is why you need to spotlight them. This, their team is doing this. This the impact they made. This is what they're launching. This is what the future looks like for them. Like now we can start putting that story together. And if you give us a week to put a story together, it's not going to be a very impactful story.
Right.
Now, hey, you might talk to a PR agency that says, "Yeah, I'll take your story in a week, right? I'll get everything on." If they do well, they're superheroes. Send them to me.
Yeah.
I'll love to
Yeah.
talk to them, right? I'll love to pick their brain, even hire them. But a majority of the PR agencies, you need some time. Like
Right.
time is very important for us to get it right. We're never going to get it perfect, right? Everything never goes according to plan if you've been in business for a long time, right? But
Facts.
we can strive for perfection along that route, right? And then we can have countermeasures for certain things.
Okay. Yeah, I just thinking about it, there's a correlation between public relations and advertising. When I have conversations with clients and I'm talking about like business strategies and things like that, I'm always talking to them about quarters ahead and making sure that they're planning things out further ahead so that they give themselves the runway to be able to plan things and think about what happened. Like, because the thing with planning, like I've got a business and advertising and marketing planning background. You can plan, but you're planning for perfect scenarios. What you also have to be able to leave room for is planning for when things don't go the way that you plan. And if you
Mhm.
do something where you're only giving yourself a week, then you're not leaving room for when things go sideways and things go sideways. So
All
I
the
think
time.
that's where media training starts to kick in because the more you start to get into those things and the more you start to be in that world, the more you start to realize there are players, there are people, there's all kind of factors that you have to be able to consider, and if you don't take those things into consideration, you may get lucky, but you won't get consistency. And someone coming to you and saying, I got a week and I've got money. There are going to be some people that may take the money, but they're not guaranteeing them the results that they're expecting. But if
Mhm.
you give them more time and you give them a story and you give them something enough context for them to be able to figure out how to frame it in a way that would work, then that's when you can actually do something.
Yep. And I do want to push back. If they are doing it
Please.
within a week, if they are doing it within a week, don't give them your money. Like I know I said I said try them out. I'm gonna push back on what I said. Please be more thoughtful, right?
Mm,
Because it doesn't make sense that they like your event is in a week or a couple days, whatever it may be, and they can execute the results that you are going to want, right? And that's another thing. Like a lot of small businesses go into these, whether it's PR agencies, whether it's small firms, boutique firms, no
mhm.
matter. whether it's just a freelancer, not knowing the impact or the outcomes that they want, right? And now they're going in at disadvantage. So now they can't even talk about, now I can basically say whatever. And you're saying, well, I want this. Now you just want the service. But the
Yeah.
impact of that service is more important than the service itself. Because
Facts.
I'm gonna be honest, most clients don't know what they need, right? They know what they want or they think they want, but they don't know what they need. And as an agency or a freelancer or whatever, if you are in the business of helping businesses, right? Your job is to make sure that you are helping them get to the outcome that they want, regardless
Mhm.
if it's within your frame or not, right? If it's not
Yeah.
within your frame, refer somebody or say, hey, that's not me, right? But as a small business, it's also important to understand like there's a lot of sharks out here, right? And
Mhm.
some of y'all be swimming without life jackets, right? So be wary of that, right? And make sure that you do background checks. And the time it takes you to do a background check, your event already passed.
Yeah.
And so if you are hiring somebody within a week, I know damn well you ain't do a background check. And I know damn well they can't even get a story out that quick and have the results that you want. So always be aware of that.